What it do? KayBoss here. And I hope y'all doing super. Is this thing on? Welcome to In2DeepEnd Podcast. I'm your host, KayBoss, and thank you for watching our video vlog today. This is the very first one, so I'm kind of working out the kinks. I don't have everything in the background yet going, but hey, in time we get better, right? That's what they say. So what is the purpose of my channel and what is the purpose of today? Well, my channel is for men between the ages of 35 and 50 that are single. And this is kind of like, I don't know if you ever watched Kevin Samuels or if you watched The Lead Attorney, which Lead Attorney is kind of my video mentor. By the way, you should check out his actual, teachable, his course on how to live stream. I'm not quite there yet, so I'm starting with the vlog and then I'm gonna inch my way over to the streaming side. But at the end of the day, the black manosphere has taken a very big hiatus since Kevin Samuels was gone. And now all I see is a whole bunch of division, right? One of the things that we're having a problem with, that 54% of black men are single and childless. And a lot of us, which is unlike the stereotype, have multiple kids out of wedlock. Not a lot of men, 54%. That's a lot of black men that are not with child and single. So that's who my demographic is, the 35 to 55 that are single, childless, or one child out of wedlock or something like that, but currently single. They are reluctant to date. And Shaun talked about this in his last live stream, which was why are real men becoming more selective in their dating? And one of the big reasons why is the disparity in the market, saturated with a whole bunch of garbage. If you go on the internet right now, and I'm talking about men and women, I'm not blaming women, I'm not blaming men, I'm blaming human beings following these followers or being followers to these content creators that are putting out, I would say, misinformation, disinformation, or just the whole hit and caboodle. Now, my goal for this channel is to get a bunch of men to understand their boundaries and the standard. I'm trying to get us on the one single thread of code of non-simpery, because I was a simp. I'll take myself off the simpery to where you're more respected and then you have support. There's MPR, he has a community. There's Dat Boy Will, I follow him as well. There's a lot of men that I follow, and I'm gonna bring their live streams and or content into my channel so I can say, hey, this is part of this standard and code. And so for you guys that are choosing to date, the way you can help support the channel is by hitting the like button. Hit the dislike button if you don't like what you're hearing. I like that too. Comment and hit the sub up or subscribe button. Make sure you put on your notification bell. But if you really want to support the channel, and all support is needed, I don't want you to do something without getting some value. And other than the content that I create or show you that somebody else created, I did create a dating contract. It's a relationship contract This contract and questionnaire serves as a guide for your relationship through dating relationships to ensure both parties are on the same page regarding expectation and routine. This agreement is set for an initial 90 days with the option to extend for an extra 180 days. So this is a lighthearted dating contract that outlines expectation and routines in a relationship for going out, eating habits, and my favorite, so it has its standard 10 processes, which the first process to understand in questionnaire is communication, which is key. Number 2, dating frequency. Number 3, going out to eat. Number 4, quality time. Number 5, intimacy. Number 6, respecting boundaries, Number 7, social outing. Number 8, personal space. Number 9, conflict resolution. Who will not have conflict? Me. I want the resolution. And number 10, that's the review. That's going to say, hey, are we going to keep going? I'm going to have to release you to the streets. So this is a way you can also get some value, but men, this will help you with a couple. You know how awkward it is because you're asking questions, you're trying to find out what the girl is, and how this is kind of like all you have to do is follow the process, man, and holler at your boy. You can get that in the description below. It'll definitely help out the channel, and it will definitely help you out in some dating knowledge. Not to mention, it makes you look astute, and it's open-ended. So ladies, you can use it just as well as the men. And it's actually a good form of bond where if you can both of you get on the same page, you both can win. And like I said, I'm not here to bash any man or woman. I'm here to bash human beings. Now, Shaun goes over this in his video about the very first part. Now, this is going to be man-centric because my target demographic is men between 35 and 55. So if it does sound one-sided, ladies, it's because I'm talking to the men right now. So let's go on and take a look at TSG Uncut with Shaun C. Thank you for watching, and we'll get you on the next side. But take a look at this video. Let me know what you think.
Military, I like to make sure that I'm prepared. So please bear with me. Tonight's live stream will probably be, I'm not saying it will be, but it most likely will be the last live stream that you all will see before I move into my new place. So it might be a week or two before you see me come back with a live stream, but I will continue to make videos. So please, please, please support those videos. If you like this channel, you support this channel, the best way you can do that is when the video comes out, that you watch that video from beginning to end. If you really want to support, watch the next video after that, okay? Or at least watch half of the next video after that. But the point is, that is the best way to support the channel. Other way to support the channel is you could be a sponsor of tonight's video. Whatever you want to do, there ain't no limits here with that. I'm just saying, all of that helps to grow the channel. It helps for me to be able to continue to make these videos, to put in the time on these topics. And trust me, I do. Okay? Now, before we get deep into tonight's topic, let me shout out the gents. Okay, thank you, gents, for being here. Thank you all for continuing to support the channel. Again, it is the most important that if you are subscribed to this channel or you are a regular viewer of this channel, when the videos drop, make sure you set time aside to watch the video from beginning to end. That is the best way to help this channel, all right? When y'all don't do that, the video doesn't get pushed out. Other people don't get to see it. That's just the way YouTube works, all right? But I like to shout y'all out because I would not be where I'm at today without you all. So let's see what we got over here. Shout out to the champ. Thank you for being here. King, he said salutations to you, my brother. Thank you. And King, I got a new one. I got another one I'm dropping soon. You're going to see it soon. Okay, you're going to see it. I expect to hear from you about it, okay? You're going to see it. You know what I'm talking about, King, okay? Our boss, he said, let's go, gents. Thank you for that. Preston, he said, what up, Shaun C, TSG, Big Dog, Homie, and the Uncut City Peeps. Preston, thank you for being here. I appreciate that, man. Preston, salute to you and everyone in the chat. Yes, that's right. Salute to everyone. That's funny. Coming from Walker STD, street ladies creating babies out of wedlock city. Brother said, hell yeah, dude, I'm in. Nah, man, I look forward to the new place. Like I told y'all, man, it's going to be more room for me to do some of the creative stuff that I want to do. And just to really be able to have a place to a dedicated place to be able to focus this channel and my other projects' attention, okay? So, today's topic. Today, I'm going to go over more clips. That's why it's going to be a short live stream, but I'm going to go over more clips today of men standing on business. We're going to discuss them because each one of them are important in their own right. There's even a video clip I have in here where I slightly disagree. Not fully, slightly. But we need to discuss it because these are things that come up all the time. But what my hope is two things. For my gents who are watching, that you all are edified. That we are here, we are discussing this shit, we are making each other better, we are standing on business, we are standing on purpose. And we just talking about it. For the women watching it, I want you to hear how us men think, because it goes into how you need to act or behave or understand a man in order to get a man, and or the most important thing, to be able to keep your man. Because at the end of the day, us talking about all this stuff, people don't realize how important the family structure is to the fabric of a society.
This is where the parts of the video or the live stream where you have to understand that most men, and the reason why most men have issues is that they're not standing on a common thread and principle. And sorry, Shaun, I don't mean to put you out looking like looking crazy. I probably should edit this part out, but I really wanted to go over the purpose of the video and getting into why we have such issues with dating. And Shaun hits it on the head, is that we all need to edify a standard, and the standard is not unified across the board. We have some men that are on a higher level than other men, and I think we need to find a standard and get everybody to at least the standard, so we can either have a baseline. And I think that's the reason why it's important for men that are watching this scenario should understand these basic understandings.
To the fabric of the human condition, to the fabric of our ability to be able to exist, to coexist, right? And to be able to pass on that legacy to the next generation. All right? Shout out right here. We got our first super chat at night. We got Young Hazrat. Let me write that down so I can get that down.
That's definitely important, especially for the people who are doing live streams, is to get assistance by super chat. So if you are watching a content creator and you have a couple bucks, it's always good to throw their way, and it helps their channel and it helps them create more content, or especially if someone's not doing this stuff full time. I know it's very difficult for a lot of people to get that going, but it's very important that we start to spend those dollars that you would normally waste on dating or going out on dates and getting the base standards and some great information. So always support your YouTube favorites. And when you're on a live stream, super chats are great, super stickers are great. Most times, these guys have their cash apps and other ways to get to support in your content creator. And also, you can support me on my channel. You'll see support with buy a coffee, and then I have a lot of self-help stuff going on here, and I'm getting ready to go a little bit harder on 2025 process and getting the standard of how to have build yourself confidence, as well as manifesting certain things into existence, and creating a group of individuals, just like what Shaun is here doing, and helping him get more people to his channel. So thank you. So if you do decide to support, I'll set a link for Shaun's channel here in the description. Also, where you can find us out at Buy a Coffee or Buy Me a Coffee. Buy Me a Coffee.
Young Pastor with the $5 hollies and just showing love. You speaking straight facts, bro. That's what I'm here for, bro. That's what I'm here for. You guys are gonna appreciate these clips tonight. My real ones are gonna appreciate these clips. Okay. Let me get you down in the banner there. I'm gonna take a couple comments before we start our first video, because once we start, we're gonna start running through. Okay, because I don't have a lot of time tonight, but I won't be able to catch all your comments. But I want y'all to know that your comments, what you all think and feel, is very important to me. You guys know this. My real ones know this. All right? I think I got you, brother. Thank you for the $5 holla. Let's get you down on the banner as the first one tonight. All right? Shout out to Cardell. He said, Shaun C, salute. Cardell, man, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Our boss says, yup, misguidance is real. Ultimately, women need guidance from real men. That's just human nature. Absolutely. William Hughes, man, thank you for being here. Don't forget, they want a man they can control. Yes, they want that because that's what the societal program is telling them. But when they get a man they can control, they're usually not satisfied with it. They're not satisfied with a man they control. Why do you think they will leave that man that they can control and go for the dude that they can't control? Because their programming in the inside says, I want the man that's going to put me in my place. And listen, when I say this has nothing to do with trying to control a woman and take her backwards. I don't believe in all that. I'm talking about the simple biology of a woman wanting a real man. And it's kind of like the first day of school, right? I told my girl about this. The first day of school, you go to class, you got the new teacher, right? And then you have this new teacher, and you was like, man, this new teacher is so nice. She's so cool, right? And then you would talk about it. Yeah, man, you got Miss So-and-so. Yeah, Miss So-and-so, real nice, right? And on that same day, you might go into another class and you got Miss So-and-so. I'm talking about the woman that in your eyes looks like the Wicked Witch of the West, because this woman is just mean. She's just so mean. And you're like, yo, you got Miss So-and-so? Oh, man. Miss So-and-so don't tolerate that shit in her class. She don't tolerate it. Yo, you're going to have a rough year. You ever see what happens in those two scenarios by the end of the school year? Do y'all remember? You remember what happens? The teacher that was the nice teacher, at the end of the school year, that class is always loud. It's always rowdy. It's always out of control. The teacher that was the mean teacher, provided she's a good teacher and not just mean, but the one who instilled discipline, that class could get out of control, but that woman snaps her finger and that shit right back to where it used to be. Right back where it needs to be at. And the students have a higher level of respect. Those are the teachers that people go back and talk to year after year after year, that go back. I got the privilege to watch one of my teachers that I've had multiple times in high school. I got to watch this woman get honored by younger students. I'm talking about students that were our kids' ages. Now our kids are grown. I'm talking about getting honored 30 something years, teaching not only me, but my kids, not necessarily my kids, but our kids. Getting honored for 30 something years. Now, I know I'm going off topic, but why am I telling you this? Because it's the exact same thing. This is why men need to be real men and stand on principle.
Now, if once you are out of school, I've been out of high school since '94. That's a very long time. So I'm 31 years, right? 31 years, and I only remember the strict teacher. Well, that's not that. There's one teacher, I won't say no names, but when I was in 8th grade, whew, Mrs. Yeah. But she was strict though, but she was a good kind of strict. Anywho, um,
Oh my God!
yeah. Ooh. Sean, what are you doing? Anyway, back to what he was saying. I only remember the strong teacher. And one of the strong teachers I had in high school, she was our first period teacher, our core teacher is what they used to call our very first teacher, Mrs. Moon. She was very nice to a certain extent. She had a sweet disposition, but man, if you got rowdy in her class, she corrected your stuff and sent you to the principal's office. And I used to go all the time. So I agree with what Shaun said. The strong disciplinarian types, especially that didn't play, you remember all day.
Because nobody's going to respect someone that doesn't have boundaries. And these are the things that we're going to talk about today. Okay. Let me make sure I catch everybody. Shout out to XL Pro. Thank you for always being here, brother. Preston says, in all seriousness, I love women too, but why even deal with people who don't want anything to do with you? Preston, you know what? I'm going to use this comment to lead us in to our first video. You are absolutely correct, Preston. I don't disagree with you. And that's why we're going to talk about these. I have 8 videos today to show you, and we're going to get up out of here. Not going to hold y'all forever, but I promise you these videos are going to be worth it, right? Y'all going to put a 1 in the chat, you guys, if you all can hear this video when I put the video up.
Free game, Kings. And this is just my opinion.
Put a 1 in the chat, Gary.
You should only be communicating with women that have high interest in you, bro. Real shit. A woman that has high interest in you values you the most. She sees that the king in you. You feel me? She'll do anything for you. She values you. If you're not attracting women that show high interest, that means you shouldn't even be dating, Kings. You feel me? Don't even date. Work on, go to the gym, work on yourself. Like, get on top of your shit, because that means that in the market, you're not valued. So that means you have work to do. Women should be the last thing on your mind. Because a lot of times, Kings, y'all, the high interest women that really like y'all don't like them back because they not on the level that you think you deserve. But at the same time, you're not working on yourself to get to that level.
All right. Listen, thank y'all for putting the 1s in the chat. Let me tell you something, man. We talked about this in a recent live stream. Right? We talked about this. We talked about not talking to someone that's not interested in you. So Preston is absolutely correct. Right? Let's go back to that comment.
Now, this is where I understand a lot of the situations at hand. Now, I've been in multiple relationships. Now, I'm way older than this, right? This is second thought to me. But I've already known this for years. However, the reason why you listen to men of stature, or in this case, experience, or the old heads or the OGs, is because this is a game that I was taught when I was younger. Like, don't mess around with women that won't mess with you. Like, I don't go up to women. I don't assert myself to women. My energy will bring a woman to me. And if I'm in the right energy, right, your attractiveness, there's going to be women that give you that look. Now, whenever you go into, let's say, when I was younger, when I used to go into the club, I never approached women. And women notice you. If you dress a certain way, you smell a certain way, you walk with a certain kind of air of confidence, right? Today, I mean, I don't go to the clubs, so I don't know what the club scene is all about. However, from what I can gather, nothing really essentially changes other than the fact that if a woman's attracted to you, she's going to get your attention. If you're going up to women saying, hey, my name is, who? My name is, what? Who? Slim Shady? You're going to get clowned. You are going to get destroyed. But what I've noticed, whenever I've went with a whole bunch of guys, I don't know if this is true for you, but I went with a whole bunch of guys once, and I said to myself, we'll never do that again. Now, if you get a good wingman, and you guys fall on grenades with each other, and you get your system, and you make it to where it's a sport, women are interested in men who have a certain kind of panache, right? And I'm not saying a sport. Well, I guess it was a sport. It's kind of like fishing, right? You go to your same watering hole, you see the same old chicks, you move to the next. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what you're looking for. But at the end of the day, once you grow out of that, right, you stop searching, working on yourself. And I've noticed since I started working myself about 10, 15 years ago, the selection of the women that I get is vastly different. Now, I don't really go out very often. And I notice when I do go out, I get way more attention because my energy is different. My energy is not drained. And women are attracted to your energy. They can feel your presence. They can feel your aura. Especially when there's not a lot of men out there that are going out there. And a lot of these women, once you have a good conversation with them, because you built up some of these videos, how-tos, right? How to talk to women. And you get your intercommunicational skills up to a certain level, and you're speaking in a certain way, you start to get women to gravitate towards you. I've noticed I get more women gravitating to the things that I'm saying, not because of what I'm saying, it's the confidence that I exude while I'm saying it that helps my situation with women. So I agree with this young man. He has a very good, wise head on his shoulders by giving that information out. Only entertain women that express high interest in you.
In all seriousness, TSG, I love women too, but why even deal with people that don't want anything to do with you? They don't. That's absolutely correct. Real men. The number one thing is if real men are being selective because they are not dealing with women who don't want to deal with them. Now, you might be saying, I get it. Hear me out. Because there's no diss on any man. This is us just talking as gents. Okay, this is us talking as gents. Right? We may not be every woman's type, but you have to understand, even good looking, I can say good looking men, but even slightly above average men have trouble dating. Hell, men that are quote unquote above average have trouble dating, whether they have finances and the physique, right? or they have you could be just a really good man where like everybody in the neighborhood loves you and this, that, and the third. Every man is going through this. And this is not just happening in the Black community. This is happening in all community. Do y'all hear me? This is happening in all communities dealing with modern women, which is why we talk about this stuff.
So once you realize that the market is saturated with this toxicity, regardless if it's male or female, this is where a lot of people are getting hung up at. Like, you'll get to a certain level, and if you, as a man, regardless of attractiveness or financial, if once a woman gets to a point and they get fed up with you, they're going to release and try to find something else. But at the same time, men are doing the same thing, right? So we have a whole bunch of masculine energy out there versus the feminine energy. And it's over-vamping the feminine energy, and there's a lot of regression. And when you have a lot of regression of those, you're going to have a lot of arguments. So I think the internet dating, these websites, these apps that make things disposable, when they make things disposable, it doesn't matter what race you are. However, I do notice that there's a lot more interracial dating than there was when I was a 20 and 30-year-old. Like 19 years ago. When I was a kid, if you looked at a white girl the wrong way, you were going to get beat up where I was at. Vice versa. If the sisters saw you talking to somebody outside your race, they would be mad as hell and want to beat that girl up. So the climate has changed to where now that you're able to date whoever you want, there's still stigmas with dating out of your race, in your race. So it's a lot harder for those scenarios for you, when you're dating a person, to have a good quality relationship if you're online. If you're an online personality, I understand you have to be online, it's your job. But I noticed, if you ever look at the content creators are typically single. Those that are married have certain kind of content. They're not doing relationship content. They're doing like, political commentary, stuff like that, but they're not in the single one. But those that have relationships, they're in relationships, but they're not married. They've gone through some troubles and some trauma. And I'm a person who's never been married and probably never will get married. However, I would value a strong long-term relationship. But again, when you bring that information out that you don't want to get married, women will leave you alone because they're looking for somebody. So you have to make sure that you have your boundaries set. Have to make sure that woman is into you and interested and only entertains what your interests are. Don't get somebody who's into you, but then they try to change you. Because there's a lot of people out there, male or female, that want to coax you into their way of lifestyle, and they pretend to be somebody that they're not. And that's the reason why you need to set boundaries, and you need to stand strong, stand firm. And that's why watching folks like this is very important, because if you don't, you're going to have a lot of problems. And that's what he's trying to say, is like, there's so much of this energy going out and this propaganda going out because everybody's on social media. There's going to be you see those relationship videos where these people are in relationships and they put their relationships online, and those people break up because you got everybody in your business. So you got to maintain a certain standard, and that's why it's very important to get in these kinds of societal content.
This is not exclusive to you. But the young man brings up a good point. This young man brings up a fascinating point. If you aren't attracting anybody, you have a little bit more work to do. I'm going to tell you right now, there are some delusional men out there. Okay? I've been delusional too, gents. I've been delusional before. Look, I told y'all from the jump of creating this channel and us starting to get to know each other, I said, look, I made this channel because I am not a perfect man. I have what did I say? The book of Drizzlations, for all have simped and fallen short of the glory of pimpdom. Okay?
Like I was saying earlier, myself included, all men have fallen on a knee or bended a knee for a woman. And every single time you've done it and regretted it, you're taking it out on the next until you set boundaries and expectations for yourself and hold yourself accountable. And then hold yourself responsible for whatever happens, knowing that whatever information goes out, it's not what the world's doing, it's how you receive it, how you understand yourself, and the way you act towards it. So you do not push that negativity out. Because if you're walking around putting that negativity out in the air, you're going to get it tenfold. I was a player. I had multiple women at one point, and I got broken off something proper to where now I'm at the age that I'm at. I don't even want the stress. I don't even want to date. Like, I'd rather find one woman and chill with her, right? And then it was, okay, instead of saying I want a woman, just one woman to chill with, right? I said I want one that fits me. And then I refined that to, I want a woman who's interested in me that fits me. And then I refined that to, okay, I want a woman that's going to be supportive and beneficial for me. And then I realized I want the right one that's meant for me, right? Now when I talk to women, and as soon as the red flag comes up, I'm like, ugh, gotta go. See you when I see you. I'm out of there. I don't even waste her time. I'm like, look, it's not gonna work for me. And and what's funny is, I've noticed when I started doing that, because women talk, right? Especially if you're in a city where I'm in a big city. I'm 8 million people, so there's tons of people. But when I was living in a smaller town, I remember when I had I've always had, for the last about 5-6 years, when I moved back to a bigger city, when I was in the smaller city, I noticed like women were more receptive to me because they knew, oh, don't talk to him. He's looking for somebody special. He's looking for the white one. I'm like, that he rejected me, and they was talking shit. And then I met a woman that I was interested in, and she was interested in me. And she's like, my homegirl tried to talk to you. She said you didn't give her no time of day. And she wanted to know why. And I said, I need someone who's going to be of value to me, of service to me, so I can be of value and service to them. And it helped the relationship. We were in a good relationship for about 2-3. She wanted to get married, and I had no part in it. I didn't want no part of the marriage part. If she would have said, she would have been cool and not try to force this marriage crap on me, we'd probably still be together today. And who knows, I might have changed my mind. But I realized marriage for me, I didn't understand what the perfect prenup was. and that's another thing you got to learn. You always got to consistently keep learning. And if I would have known that, there's such thing as a perfect prenup, that could have been a situation for me. That would have probably changed a whole bunch of situations. However, I didn't understand it and didn't learn that until later on, just a couple months ago. So at the end of the day, what he's trying to say is we all are built to be simps because that's what society has foreshadowed. If you've ever watched movies from the 50s to the 60s to the 70s to the 80s, from the 50s to the 80s, you could tell the vast difference between how rugged and raw men were and how they treated women, right? And you move into the 80s, 30 years later, it's all these romantic comedies putting women side by side as love interests. Now you look at it, it's women bashing men. So it's come full circle. It's come from the 30s and 40s and 50s are in the era of men being dominant. Now it's women being dominant, looking for a regressive man. And that's and everybody's watched that. You look at even the television programming with the children. That's why I stopped watching TV, because I didn't want to get programmed. I stopped watching regular TV. I don't even watch that stuff. I watch content creators now. The content creators that don't have commercials. So I don't get programmed, because you get programmed what you pay attention to. And if you're not filling your head with knowledge of the right situation, you're going to end up like a lot of men, because of what are women doing? They're feeding into the program. And so that programming, they try to put it onto you. And if you watch that, why do you think a woman wants to watch certain movies with you? Pay attention to this, fellas. This is very important. Women want you to watch their favorite movies so they can program you, because they're in tune with that program. So I'll watch a movie with him and I'll be like, that's what she wants me. Oh, she wants me to do what that dude's doing. I'm out. I'm just, that's not me. I'm out of here. Especially, that's how they get you to simp. You watch that movie, you're paying attention to that movie, and then you realize, I can be whatever. No. My dad was married for 46 years and didn't listen to a goddamn word my mom said, and it pissed and aggravated the hell out of her. And guess what? She stuck around. Wanna know why? Because he was consistent about it. He wasn't wishy-washy. My dad was a player's player. And all the men around him were getting divorced, and all those dudes catered to their women to a certain extent. And then when they got fed up and they started fighting, that's when the woman wants to leave you. That's the programming. That's the reason why modern men that are not simp are not in relationships. They're not even checking for women that are like that. So that's what he's saying here. That's the example that I'm going to give. I didn't want to get too long-winded in it, but that's the reason why you have issues in your relationships, even the good-looking dudes. The difference is, if you have your finances right, you have more options. So as soon as that chick starts acting up, you just throw her in the gutter and go find another.
We all have fallen one way or the other. And it goes back to when we were young dudes, right? Especially guys my age, right? Where your little heyday was in the 90s, right? When like I was a teenager in the 90s and I was a grown man in the late 90s, right? So here's what I'm trying to tell you. We were simping back in the 90s. Let's just be real about it. The music that I hold near and dear was some of the most simping ass music.
Exactly what I'm trying to tell you. I was there. I'm around the same age, if not the same age. I think he's probably like a year younger than me, or I know we're similar in age. I mean, in 99 or 2000, I was 25. I graduated high school in 94 at 18. So you got to realize they've always been programming. They program you through music. They program you through television. They program you through movies, right? So if you're not putting valuable information in your head and paying attention and getting into the programming that it's going to set you right so you're not getting stuck into that simp world that he's talking about as well, you got to get in with guys that have been through that experience. So when you do start to get, man, my girl's doing this, da 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 da, it's good to have a network of men that have the similar interests, that have the same boundaries and standards. And that's the reason why the black manosphere has crashed. Because a lot of these men don't want to sit down and create a standard. And that's the reason why I have this show. That's the reason why I bring it up. I'm going to leave it at here, and I'm going to probably do like a part 2, maybe a part 3. But I want to just end this subject matter of why it's important to be interested, find women that are interested in you, and the only way you can get that to happen is to put information in your brain with boundaries and standards that will help you long term. This is KayBoss, and I'm out.